We are in northern Rwanda and we are on our way to a remote village where we are going to meet Fidel, a 70-year-old man who is blind in both eyes. Later on today we will take Fidel to the hospital in Ruhengeri where CBM surgeons will give him the cataract surgery he so badly needs. Fidel lives in a small village on the other side of a remote valley. It's taken us hours to get this far, but to reach his home we're going to have to walk the remainder as the terrain is too tough. Rwanda is around 4,000 feet above sea level, so at this high altitude even walking short distances takes its toll. I can't imagine what it's like to have to work in the fields every day. When we reach our destination and meet the man himself, we get a bit of a surprise. We had originally thought that Fidel was 70 years old, but when we speak to him, he turns out to be over 90. Fidel's blindness was identified by one of the CBM field workers whose job it is to go into remote villages identifying anyone affected by cataracts. With the help of Sonia, our translator, I begin asking Fidel about the effects of his blindness.
Okay. He lives with his sons and they're the ones helping him moving around, and since his wife died, he's just living with his son.
When did his wife pass away?
It's 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
Yeah, 7 years ago.
So is he nervous or looking forward to having his sight back?
He's saying that he's okay with all the instructions as long as he knows that he's going to see.
That's the most important thing?
That's the most important thing.
Sonia, can you ask him to tell us more about his day-to-day life? How he gets his food, how he gets around, if there's a problem, how he gets to the doctor, and if it's difficult for his sons because they obviously need to look after him, does it mean that they can't work as much as they need to?
Nagira ngo nkubaze nk'ubu ngubu wirirwa hano byo birumvikana
aho ndagiye ngo ntabona hamenye
ndabyumvise noneho.
He finds his way with a stick?
Yes, and he can wash himself, he can bathe himself. Okay. He does it himself. They just need to put some water there and he can go just the way he showed you with his stick.
So he's still quite independent?
Yeah. And they just put food there and he can eat himself. And so he can go and move around here, around the house.
Because he knows the area well.
Because he knows the area. Yeah. So he's not really so dependent. He's saying that when he will see, the first thing that he wants to see is his grandchildren.
I was just going to ask.
Yeah. There are some of the grandchildren, he saw them. But there are others who were born when he was already blind.
So he's never seen them.
So he just hold the baby, and then after a year he could just touch and see now what's the height now, just that.
Originally, when CBM came to Fidel's village, nobody identified his blindness. CBM director David McAllister explains why. Is what we've just seen typical of what your field workers find here in Rwanda?
It is, because I don't know if you picked up what the people were saying, is our old father sick? We didn't know he was sick. And they said, no, he's not sick. And they said, well, what's happening? Well, he will be able to see again. Was he blind?
So they didn't know?
They didn't know. He's just an old man. Old men, old women lose their sight. It's a normal day occurrence. So you come into a village and say, we want to help your blind people. They say, we don't have any blind people.
So that's one of the problems your field workers face?
Exactly, and you have to keep pressing, well, is there anybody here that you have to guide around? Oh yes, grandfather here, but he's old, he's not blind. Fidel is scheduled for surgery today at the Ruhengeri hospital. Initially, we help him walk out of his village, but we're up against a tight deadline, and that calls for a faster mode of transport. We've brought Fidel from his village here to Ruhengeri Hospital. We're now going to bring him inside where CBM's eye doctors will examine him. Fidel is examined by CBM's Dr. Kabuyaya before being taken into surgery. Unlike children, adults do not get a general anaesthetic before surgery, and the procedure is relatively quick, taking only 20 minutes. Tune in tomorrow to see Fidel's amazing reaction when his bandages come off,
and he sees his sons for the first time in nearly 20 years. Plus, we arrange a very big surprise for him. If you want to support the work of CBM, you can make a donation by calling 1850 930 383, or you can visit their website at www.cbm.ie, or you can send your donation to CBM Ireland, MTech Building, Monaghan. That was the highlight of that whole trip, was seeing Fidel see his sons again. Yeah. We didn't see it all there.
We'll see tomorrow?
Yeah, you'll see it all tomorrow. He sees his sons for the first time in 20 years. Very emotional moment. And listen, in case you didn't get that number for CBM, it just costs €30 to give someone the gift aside. It's 1850 930 383. That's 1850 930 383. Great charity. You mightn't be familiar with them. That's why we're doing this, to raise awareness about CBM. They're an Irish charity that do great work, so give them a ring or check out the website. And tomorrow, as we said, we'll be showing you Fidel's reaction to having his sight restored, and it's an incredible moment.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's an amazing moment. Oh, God, I
burst
into tears. I couldn't stop myself crying.
All right, so there you are, €30 all it costs. I mean,